Okay, see all the chats. Yes, yes. Okay, cool. Hi, I'm Hannah Buyati. I am a 9th grade earth science and astronomy teacher at Plattsburgh High School, so way up north. This is the Design Your Own Constellation PowerPoint presentation. It probably won't take us all the whole 30 minutes that we get, but we do have time for you to go and play and explore and all that. So teachers, all your students will need is a piece of paper. It can be construction paper, it can be regular paper, and a pencil. So if you have time, I'll give you a second to get that going. And I told Olivia before, I do have extensions to this. It's going to have some writing stuff you can do. And if you put your email in the chat, I can send that to you as well, that you can do later. So this is called Design Your Own Constellation. All right. All right, so what is a constellation? A constellation is a group of stars that form a recognizable pattern that is named after its form or a mythological creature. So we have a couple examples coming up that we're going to see. So the first one, probably the one that everybody knows the most, is what we call the Big Bear or Ursa Major. A lot of people know it as the Big Dipper. And if you look on the back end of the bear, you can see the Big Dipper. And a lot of people know how to find the Big Dipper. But it's actually a part of a bigger constellation known as Ursa Major, which is the Big Bear. And then there is a Little Dipper, which we call Ursa Minor, which is the Little Bear. And actually Ursa Minor, on the end of it, and the end of the handle, that is the star that we know as Polaris or the North Star. But the Little Dipper is a part of Ursa Minor, which is the Little Bear. And you'll see in a second the picture of them together. So this is Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. So the Little Bear and the Big Bear. They go in pairs. So you can see that the Big Dipper and the Little Dipper kind of face different directions. If you look at the two stars on the end of the Big Dipper on the very outside edge, there's two stars and they point into the Little Dipper. So if you're ever outside looking for the stars, you would find that if you look at the two ends on the Big Dipper, they will point to Polaris, which is at the end of the Little Dipper. But those are the two bears. And the fun thing about constellations is you have to kind of use your imagination of seeing how things work and how they are, because the two don't really look like bears, but that's what they are. Another famous one is what we call Orion, and Orion is a hunter. He's probably most famous for the belt, Orion's belt. You can find the 3 stars in the night sky that connect together, and that would be what we call Orion's belt. And he is a hunter, and he's kind of got like a body on the top and like a little skirt looking figure on the bottom. And then you can see that his arrow is off the left side of him, and that's what we call Orion the hunter. And I have a picture here. Orion's belt is his 3 stars connecting really close together. And then really bright stars. We call that really luminous stars. But he is a hunter, and you can see he kind of has like this shield of a lion or a head. But most people see it as like an arrow. There's a lot of different interpretations of how it can be seen. But all right, and this is what we call Draco. Draco is a dragon, which is kind of hard to see as well. But it's a bunch of stars that once you find them, they kind of make this cool follow line of stars, and that's its tail for Draco. And then here's Draco again. If you had to picture Draco in the night sky, that is what he would look like. Draco the dragon. And I have a video. It does look like a lizard. I see that. Let me know if the sound isn't working for the video in the chat, but hopefully it works because I believe it's connected to my computer.
Oh, hey guys. It's just gotten dark here, so we're spending a little time before bed looking at the night sky. And sometimes we like to look up at the stars and make up funny funny stories about the things that we see. Have you ever looked up at the clouds during the day and thought about what they looked like? A duck, an alligator, a shark, or even a bear? Well, people do the same thing with the stars, and they've done so for thousands of years. I'm sure you've noticed on a nice clear night how there are so many stars in the sky, more than you can probably count. Some stars look brighter to us than others, and the darker it is where you live, like if you're really far from the lights of a city, the more stars you can see. And for a long time, people have seen pictures among certain groups of stars, just like connect the dots. These groups of stars are sometimes called constellations, and scientists still use the names of these constellations to describe different parts of the night sky. Probably the most famous group of stars that's easiest to find is the Big Dipper. If you live in the northern hemisphere, you can spot it pretty easily in the northern part of the sky. It's made of 7 bright stars, and if you connect the dots of those stars, you'll see a big squarish bowl with a really long handle sticking out of it. In the United States, some people thought the stars looked like a big ladle or spoon, so they called it the Big Dipper. But just like the fluffy clouds we were talking about, groups of stars can look different to different people. In Great Britain, for example, the same 7 stars are called the Plough because they were thought to look like a farmer's plow. And people in Germany thought it looked like a wagon. And those same stars also reminded lots of ancient people of a giant bear. Scientists today consider the Big Dipper to be part of a bigger constellation that they call Ursa Major for Great Bear. The Big Dipper is easiest to find in the summer when it's higher in the sky. But in the winter, you should look for enough.
Okay, so I just saw something in the comments. Are you guys seeing the projection mode, or are you seeing the display mode of what you can see? And I can also send this video to you as well. Let me just share it again. I do want to make sure you can see it big. Let me do screen 2. And let me know if that's better.
Constellation. Orion.
Let me just get that up.
The first part that you'll probably see are the 3 bright stars in a row. In ancient Greece, stargazers thought that they looked like the belt of a great hunter. They thought the 2 bright stars above it would be where his shoulders were, and the 2 stars below it, his legs. The more people looked, the more other things they saw. And if you use your imagination and follow the stars from one of his shoulders, you can see another group of stars, like he's holding on to something, like a shield. And what are those fuzzy lights hanging from his belt? Oh, kind of looks like a sword. There's a lot more to Orion than just a few stars. That's why when astronomers talk about constellations, they don't just mean the few stars that might look like something. They also mean all of the other stuff in that part of the night sky. So part of what gives Orion's sword its fuzzy brightness is a distant cloud of gas and dust called the Orion Nebula. That's part of the Orion constellation too. So what if you live in the southern hemisphere? Then keep your eyes open for the crux, the smallest of the constellations. It's still pretty easy to find, especially in the winter, because of the 4 bright stars that make a cross, which is what its name means. The southern hemisphere is also a great place to find Sagittarius, a constellation that reminded ancient Greeks of a creature that was part man, part horse, shooting an arrow. For most people, the easiest way to find it is to look for the 8 stars that make this shape. To me, it looks more like a teapot, but that's why it's fun to make up stories. So the next time that you're outside and it's dark, look up and see if you can find any of these constellations or other groups of stars. Or you can just make up your own. Okay, Squeaks, let's find something that looks like a rat. See you next time on SciShow Kids.
Okay, so this is what we are going to do, and I'm going to change up the screen in a second because I have like a display thing to show you. So these are the steps to designing your own constellation. The first thing you need to do is you need to think of an object you want to see in the sky. The second thing you need to do is draw the object on a piece of paper, and remember to draw with dots first, then connect. Third, you're going to carefully, very carefully poke holes with your pencil through the stars, aka your dots. You can ask your teacher if you need help because this could be a little tricky for some of you. And then 4, hold your constellation up to the lights and let your constellation shine. So I'm going to stop sharing this for a quick second, and I'm going to change it to my camera mode. I'm going to have to shut off my own camera. So sorry, you won't see me, but you can hear me. Okay, so stop that video. All right, and then I'm going to share it this way to the camera. Okay, so can you see kind of like my hand down here? Hopefully. Just say yes if you can. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to show you my examples first, and then I'll take you a recommendation of what you want me to show. So our first one is a smiley face. So you can see here, I have made the dots and I've connected them, and then I kind of poke the holes through, and you can see on the reverse side that is your poke through. So if you take this after and you hold it up to the light in your classroom, you'll be able to see the constellation poke through. Here's another example. You can do your initial K. If your name starts with a K. Our friend Kaylee here made this one. Okay, and then you can kind of see where I poked through there. And then third, our favorite, we made a sun constellation. So we drew it out, we poked the holes through carefully, and then when you flip it over, you're going to see it. But when you hold that up to the light, you should be able to see. All right, I will take now 2 suggestions that you want me to draw. And remember, I'm a science teacher, not an artist. And I can show you how to do it real quick before I let you go off and explore that. A cat, I don't know if I can do a cat. A lion, a dog, a birthday cake, a flower, a rocket, a horse. Oh my gosh, these are good. A balloon, a cheetah. I don't think a ferret. I don't think I can do that. Oh, a baseball. Oh, I can do a baseball. So let's do a baseball first. So I'm going to just draw a circle. And the baseball goes like this, right? So that is a good circle. I have some of my high school students here commentating on this. And I'm just going to draw a couple dots like this around my tracing. Just like so. And honestly, the more dots you can do, the better they come out. And then again, this is where you have to be very careful. So I always recommend that you tip it up like this and you poke through this way so you're not going to stab your own fingers. And you're just going to poke it through. And just remember that to be gentle, and the sharper your pencil, the better. And poke it through. And if you have any thicker paper, that also works better. Do it quickly, and then I'll do one more, and then you can go try yourself. So now you can see my baseballs through here, and careful, you might see my classroom. If you shine it through the light like that, you should be able to see the constellation. Sometimes it's better to go this way. All right, I'll take one more suggestion. Except ferret, that's too hard for me. A cheetah, a lion, a flower, a star, a snowflake. Oh, pizza. That's the one. We just had pizza for lunch. All right, pizza, I can do that. Pepperoni or cheese? A teapot. Cheese. All right, there's my crust. All right, I agree with pepperoni. Do one like that. Maybe I should have been an art teacher. All right, so then you're going to just draw your dots. Remember, just follow your own lines. The more dots, the better. And then you're just going to poke it through like we did before. Okay. That's all I have. Again, I told all your teachers, if you want to send your email in this chat, I can send the extension that goes with this, that goes to like a writing sample. But you can just explore with that and have fun with that for right now. And if you have any questions about constellations, I can still see your chat and you can send them in. Wow, all of you are from like different locations. I see Glens Falls, Beekmantown. Great questions at Beekmantown today. Saranac, Queensbury. Cool. All right, well, have fun. Go have fun, and I'll see you maybe at my next one. What did you make, Kelson? You're welcome. Bye. What is that? That's a good one. Bye. The best one was the ferret. So cute. Olivia, I don't know if you're there, if you can hear me. I just sent you the activities, but you can send them to all the other people, or do you want me to do it? I don't really care. I can do either thing.
We can do that, right? If I have their emails.
Well, it's all in the chat, but so I can just copy them. I mean, if the next one doesn't start till 12:45, I can do that right now.
Yeah, that would work great, and then they'll be able to just get it.
So I'm not leaving this link. Everyone will just come into this next meeting like this.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm just gonna mute myself.
Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna post that on our So the next workshop will begin at 12:45. If all of you really liked Hannah and how she works and how she presented, she has another presentation at 12:45, and it's learning how to do your own lunar model module landing called the Apollo Lunar Model System Challenge in the brochure if you're interested in coming to that at 12:45.